What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Bog, episode 1.5. I'm your host, Cody Butler. With me today is Stephen Linhard
What's up?
and Blake Poole.
Hello, hello.
How is everybody today?
All
Doing
right.
good. Doing
Good.
good.
Good? Yeah, good deal. We're gonna get this started like we probably will every time with what we're playing. I'll start it off. I'm having an interesting experience with Assassin's Creed 2. Stephen knows about it, and I think Blake does as well. It's one of the games that I've gone back and tried to platinum, and there's 100 feathers in the game that you have to collect, and that's one of the trophies. And spent about 4.5 hours watching a video guide on how to get all the feathers and where they are, kind of cheating, but got to the very end on the very last map, and I have 98 out of 100 feathers. I have to go back through the entire map and find 2 feathers. I don't know if I'll be playing that game for a while, but that's what I'm playing right now. So, what are you playing, Steven?
I'm playing Madden, Red Dead Redemption, Little Big Planet, and Killzone.
Nice. Man, you got a bevy of games going on.
Oh, and that was it Space Invaders?
Yeah, I played that today. You're right.
That game not awesome.
Yeah, you are absolutely 100% right. That is one of the best downloadable games I've ever played.
Did you see the feature where you can put in your own music and it'll make levels based off your music?
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I will definitely be buying that. I downloaded the demo after I downloaded NBA Elite and 2K11, and was playing the demo, and you know how it starts with just the typical Space Invaders, and I was like, I don't really understand what his deal was, and then it just starts going all acid trip. I was like, whoa.
See, that's why I couldn't explain it to you when I was playing it, because
Yeah.
it's unexplainable.
It really is. I mean, really good game. Blake, what are you playing right now?
As we all know, I'm a PS3 virgin, so I'll just get back into gaming.
Yeah.
So, picked up Red Dead Redemption, BioShock, Uncharted. It'll be the show. I haven't played Uncharted yet, but I was gonna just sit there and try and platinum Red Dead Redemption after I would beat it, but it would literally take like a week off, I think, because such a big, like, so much to roam around, and especially with the online play, obviously with the technical difficulties right now, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good game. I mean, you being a PS3 virgin at right now is a good time to be it because there are so many good games out there. I mean,
oh yeah. I mean, it's like when you go to pick, there's so many top games coming out. I mean, obviously there's some bad ones coming out too, but
yeah, we'll get to that a little bit later, especially this week, dear Lord. Don't listen to Steven, by the way. He hates Uncharted.
That's not that I hate it, I just hate the gameplay.
Yeah, which I do agree with some of his points on the gameplay. Which I mean, once you get to play it, you'll kind of see what we're talking about. But the gunplay is kind of sloppy, and it really relies on headshots. If you don't shoot him in the head, if you shoot him in the head, it kills him instantly. If you shoot him in the chest, it takes like 20 shots. So that's a little ridiculous, but
yeah. And I mean, like in BioShock, I've been playing a lot more of that lately since I stopped trying to platinum Red Dead Redemption, and really like the gameplay, storyline. It's freaking me out, obviously. But
yeah. That's one of my top favorite games on the system. I mean, in my top 3 at least. Up there with Assassin's Creed 2. It's just so good. Storyline in that game is it's what sets that game apart from any other game in that genre. Just because the storyline is so good, keeps you involved the entire way through. So. All right, that brings us to our first news story. TGS just ended last week. And unless you're an Asian or a JRPG fan, not a whole lot came out of it. But one of the biggest things was the finally release date and new trailer for The Last Guardian. Not sure how familiar either one of you are with The Last Guardian, but by the same people. It's by Team Ico, but it's the same people who did Ico and Shadow of the Colossus for the PlayStation 2. Um, if you talk to anybody who loves gaming and has been in it for a while, and who has played it, Shadow of the Colossus is one of the best games ever made. I mean, it's just so good. From beginning to end, it's just one of the best games ever. And so The Last Guardian, obviously, a lot of people are excited about it. It's been rumored for like 2 to 3 years, and finally they released a trailer last E3, but with no release date or anything, just a trailer. And at TGS this past week, they said holiday 2011. Either one of you excited about that, or do you even know what it is, or
Not really.
no?
Don't even know.
Steven, you don't know what it is. You're not excited.
A little, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess
yeah.
unless you played Shadow of the Colossus, I don't think you really could get excited about it because the trailer, unless you're a fan of that company, the trailer does look a little ridiculous. I mean, it's just a boy and this massive. They're calling it a bear cat. Uh, no, they're not. I don't remember what they're calling it. It has something cat in it. Maybe bird cat. I
A
don't
liger.
know. Possibly. um, but no, it's I don't know if it's necessarily a sequel to Shadow of the Colossus because it doesn't look or feel like it's anything to do with that. Because Shadow of the Colossus was such a dark and depressing game, whereas this looks really lighthearted. The trailer has like some really like happy sounding music in it. Um, but that game also has some controversy surrounding it already. Calling Team Eco racist, or not racist, sexist.
Oh, I think I actually did hear about this on Podcast Beyond, where that he was talking about it was supposed to be a girl, but
Yeah, they couldn't animate.
something about wearing skirts,
Yeah,
like
they
animating the skirts.
exactly. They were like, yeah, our original plan was to have the main character a girl, but it was too hard to. What was that?
Huh?
What was that? There was like this loud noise.
Oh, I moved my headphone.
Oh, it was like.
I'm sure that's exactly what it sounded
Well, similar. Yeah. So
I'm sitting over here trying not to make any noise.
um. Yeah, so yeah, the whole thing with it was the main character was supposed to be a girl, but they said they couldn't figure out how to animate a skirt, so they decided to make it a boy. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I can see
It's
that,
because
but
if you don't put the character, if it's a girl and you don't put it in a skirt, all Asian children look the same, so you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
That is true. For the Asian culture, I can understand that. But I mean, how hard would it be? You got to think Batman's cape in Arkham Asylum was a lot harder to do than a skirt. I mean, I don't know because in the trailer it shows the boy climbing up the Bearcat or the Liger or whatever it is, and it's kind of a butt shot. So in Asia that wouldn't be a big deal if a girl's wearing a skirt, but over here in America, because it's a 13-year-old kid. Um, again, in Asia that's not that big of a deal, but over here that would cause some upright. But one of the things that was said was they don't know if it was sarcastic because it was all in Japanese because it's in Tokyo, and the translator that people think that the sarcasm may have not come through the translator, that he may have just been joking, but the way the translator said it made it sound serious. Um, but there hasn't been like they haven't like released a statement saying yeah it was a joke, anything like that. I mean they're kind of playing it off like I mean they're not even saying anything about it, so you got to think they were being serious. I don't know. I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think that's sexist, or do you think it's just a logical step?
I don't think their reasoning makes sense. I mean, like I said, it's pretty lazy reason saying, oh, they can't make skirts. But I mean, like I said on Podcast Beyond, they were saying the same thing about the cape. So
right, yeah,
pretty
exactly.
pretty terrible excuse. I mean, you could have came up with something better than that just to avoid off like those accusations. But
Yeah, that's why I think it may have been.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they just don't care.
They probably don't. I mean, it's Team Eco. I mean, regardless what they put out, it's going to sell. and sell well. Um, it's just like the people, Ninja Gaiden 3 is announced, and they don't really care who they piss off. It's gonna sell really, really well. So, and other big news coming out of TGS, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 has an easy mode now. The easy mode is you can play the entire game with only using one button. So every special move, to whereas in the normal Marvel vs. Capcom, you'd have to hit, for instance, square, square, triangle, circle, back, whatever, some weird complex combination of moves and buttons. In easy mode, you can play the entire game and make you look like a complete, badass essentially, just using one button. Think that's a good idea for some of the more casual gamers, or do you think that makes the game too dumb?
I think it's fine as long as they don't allow it online, like in multiplayer or anything like that.
Right.
Because if somebody wants to play the game and get a cheap thrill out of it by doing that, then let them. They paid the money for the game.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Another thing on that, obviously it should change. Yeah, I don't think you should be able to just, play on any difficulty and have like one button, like what, on collecting trophies, obviously, but any kind of ranking. So.
Well, I think the way that they're doing it is, you have your typical easy, medium, hard, and then the single button mode. I think it will be a mode entirely on its own.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that would affect like trophy whores, like myself. Oh my God, if it does, you better believe I'm buying that game. You better believe it. But I don't think it will. I think it's just going to be a standalone mode, and Steven brought up a really good point on online. If they make it to where you can do that online, that you will find very quickly the only people playing that game online are the people who use that mode, because there's people who are hitting 18 different button combinations and getting beat by one kid who's using one button. That's just not right.
Mm-hmm.
So if it is just that one mode and that's the only way you could play it with that combination of just using the one button, if that is just a standalone mode and that's it, then I don't see a problem with it. Because that really opens the door for more sales. I mean, people who are like, man, I would love to play that game, but it's just too hard. Well, now they can go buy it because it's not hard anymore. I mean, it's not even on normal. I mean, it's just probably the most basic video game out there. You just use one button. Some other big news last week. Halo Reach was released. Pretty big release day. A couple days later, Microsoft's getting complaints that there's a disk read error. People are emailing them and posting on forums and message boards saying when they put the game into the 360, it won't play, and it just says that there's a disk read error. Microsoft released a statement saying that they don't really know the cause of it yet, and kind of downplayed it, saying that the small number of users that are that have complained about this, that they're going to try to fix it, but he's downplaying it, saying that it's not happening that often, that not that many people have had that problem. Where, and if you compare the amount of problems to the sales, I'm sure it's not. You know what I mean? I'm sure that it's a pretty small number compared to the amount of numbers of units sold. But still, I mean, I think the estimated number that I read was somewhere around 3,000 to 4,000 people were having this problem. I mean, that's not a small number. That's a lot of people that's having problems with this game, and it's an ongoing thing. It's not just going to stop at that number. And,
yeah, I mean, like I said, it just came out a couple of days ago. So,
yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of people who haven't picked it up yet. Like maybe they got paid Friday and they're going to go pick it up Monday or whatever. I mean, it's just they're acting like it's not that big of a deal. For good reason. They don't want people to panic about it. And especially if they have no idea what's causing it.
I mean, just like the statement, you said it didn't really sound like they care too much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it reminds me a lot of Steve Jobs. There's a website called Emails from Steve, where people get his personal email address and ask him like serious